Well, good morning and happy Sabbath. Um, I hope everyone's doing okay this morning, and I hope everyone is keeping nice and warm. Um, it is raining outside this morning, and so luckily we don't have to go outside and be in the rain, and so we get to worship together in our homes. So that's kind of nice because we're not gonna need to get wet. So anyway, so today we have our children's story, and today we are going to be talking about patience. I know. So a few weeks ago, when we had our children's story, remember we talked about the fruits of the spirit, and if you recall, one of them was patience. So today we get to talk a little bit more about what it means to be patient, okay? So I hope everybody is ready and have their Bibles. And so our memory verse for today is going to come from the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 36. That's Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 36. So I'm going to give us a few minutes to get our Bibles and then get to the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 36. And then we will all read together. So, yeah, Hebrews chapter 10, verse 36. Okay, it says, for you have need of patience, that after you have done the will of God, you might receive the promise. I'll read it again. For you have need of patience, that after you have done the will of God, you might receive the promise. Okay, so we have to be patient to receive the good things that are coming our way. All right, so we'll get started. So, how many of you, when you sit down to have a meal, either lunch or dinner, like to have a nice cold drink with your food? You know I do. And I know that ice makes our drinks taste better. But do we know why that is? Um, maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. But do you guys have ice makers in your fridge at home? Ice makers are nice because they're always making new ice without us ever having to do anything, right? Okay. So how many of you guys have seen these? Okay. This is an ice tray. Okay. And if your fridge doesn't come with an inbuilt ice maker, then you're gonna need something like this. You know, they come in different colors and shapes and sizes. This one's a tiny one. It only has 4 little pockets in there. So if your fridge doesn't have an inbuilt ice maker and you have a family of more than 4 people, you're gonna either need a lot of these or one that's bigger than this that has more than 4, so we don't fight for who's gonna get the ice each time. Okay, so ice trays, they're pretty simple as you can see, and each one has this little pocket. So you fill them with water, and then you stick it in the freezer, and in a few hours you have some ice cubes. So if this is your ice, I'm gonna show you. You just put some water in there in each pocket like that, and then you stick this in the freezer, and then you wait for a few hours. We have to wait for a few hours, and then after a few hours, guess what we have? These ice cubes. This came from the ice cube I had. Um, it broke off a little bit. This is a piece of it that broke off, but that's what you have. Like after you leave it in the freezer for a few hours. Okay, so The problem with ice cubes is that it does take a while to freeze. So if you pull it out too soon, the cubes may only freeze like on the outside, and then when it melts, your drink will get all watery, and then you'll kind of lose the taste of, whatever the drink you had was, and that's not good, is it? So it's best if you leave it in there for a few hours, and you don't need to keep running in there to go check and see if it's ready or not, because definitely after a few hours it will be ready. So we all like cold drinks better than warm drinks, right? I think. I know I do. I mean, I like to have my apple juice cold, and I like to have my Kool-Aid cold. Or do you like it warm? I don't know. I like to have it cold. But sometimes we have to be patient in waiting for ice, especially on a hot day, right? So, why do we have to wait for the ice to to for the ice cubes to freeze? Because it's worth it. When it's all nice and frozen and cold, then you can enjoy your drink better, right? Okay. So, there are a lot of things in life that require patience. Like sometimes it's hard for us to wait for the end of the school day, isn't it? Or sometimes it's hard to wait for the weekend to get here so we can go see our friends. Or sometimes it's just hard to wait for morning to come so we can watch our favorite cartoons on TV, right? Okay, so I know some of you guys find it very hard waiting for your favorite things to happen. Like maybe you can't wait for your birthdays to come, you can't wait for, I don't know, just you can't wait for stuff. And how many of you cannot wait to grow up? You know? How many of you can't wait to just be old enough to even drive? I know some people that could not wait to get old enough to drive, but guess what? Now they're driving. They don't like it very much because they get sent to go do everything. So wait, just wait. When the time comes, then you'll drive. Okay, so the Bible teaches us that we need to learn patience. Many things in life take time, and the more patient we are, the more we will enjoy life. Because if you spend all your time being impatient, that means just you can't wait to do stuff, you are going to miss out on what God has in store for you each day. Remember that good things come to those who wait. For example, right now, we don't have school. We can't go out to go visit our friends. We cannot go out to play. And that's just, it's besides being boring, it just drives us a little bit crazy, right? Like, you want to see your friends at school, you want to see your friends in the neighborhood, you want to see your cousins, you want to see your family members that don't live with you. But right now, for the sake of our safety, we have to stay indoors. And this is why even now, today, we are having this story time through the camera, right? So in patience, good things happen. And we have to just trust that when we wait, it's for our own good. So like I said before, the Bible tells us that patience is one of the fruits of the Spirit, okay? And so our God is a good God, and He knows what's best for us. And when He tells us to wait, then we need to listen, and we need to wait. So next time when you feel impatient, remember the ice tray, okay? And remember that waiting for anything will always be worthwhile, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and read our memory verse for today one more time, and then if you have any questions for today's story, just write it down somewhere, and then when we meet again at church, hopefully it's gonna be soon, then I'll be able to answer all your questions. So now you have to be patient until we can meet again. So one more time, memory verse for today was from Hebrews chapter 10, verse 36, and it says, "For you have need of patience, that after you have done the will of God, you might receive the promise." Okay? Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. Stay safe, keep indoors, wash your hands, and just be good, okay? Take care and God bless and have a happy Sabbath. Thank you.